Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I'm your host, the DFS Jerusalem. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. We're going to be breaking down yesterday's three-game slate. For Sunday, we are going to be jumping into next week's slate, reviewing the entirety of next week. We've got some really juicy matchups, some really nice games going on next week. A lot of nice narratives going in. And, man, it was a pretty good Super Bowl we saw, man. One of the best I've ever seen. And my hat's off to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I do not hate the Patriots as much as most folks do because, of course, I'm a Giants fan and I beat their ass twice in the Super Bowl. So I don't hate on the Patriots like everybody else do, like a lot of people do, just because I beat them before. And it's the Super Bowl. It was a great Super Bowl. Atlanta Falcons. They fucked up and should have just ran the fucking ball. Just run the fucking ball. It's crazy. So we'll be jumping into last night's slate. Really, breaking that down a little bit, talking about that. Funny story. I was reminded. So of course I played high school basketball. I played at North Charleston High School, and I remember this one game we were playing, and we had this guy on his team, the guy Fred. He was a fucking ball hog. This dude did not pass the ball, but he was pretty good. So he kind of got away with it. And one time we're playing, we're balling, and we are getting shellacked. I'm talking about we are down 20, and this dude is a fucking ball hog. I mean, he will take on a 1-on-5 break. He will go and do everything he could to score the basketball. And he was pretty decent. He was pretty good. Probably the best scorer on the team. Not the best player, but the best scorer on the team. This dude is a fucking ball hog. I know you've played with him. If you did play, you might have been one yourself. So we're getting our ass whipped. We're down like 30 points. And the game, we're not even into the game. We're mad because he's not giving us the ball. He's trying to score the points. We're getting beat by damn near 40 points. Bad. So at halftime, we all sitting on the bleachers. The coach talking to us, trying to get us back prepped and ready to go to get back in there. And so as we're sitting down, yeah, he is livid. Fred is mad. Man, y'all ain't doing this. Y'all ain't doing that. I'm trying to do everything. Blah, blah, blah. And we're looking at him like, bro, you a fucking ball hog. Like, you're not even passing us the ball, right? So as he's sitting, he's got like his shorts on his leg like up, and he's like talking shit. And one of the other guys, a tall dude, Samson, he looks at him and he's like, bro, you ain't wearing no drawers, man. I can see your balls. Fred grabs the clipboard, slams it down. It's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we losing. If you get your head in the game and not for my nuts, we would be winning. And they had no drawers on. Bruh, how you out there balling with no, with your balls out? Balls to the wall. My main man Fred, boy. Crazy. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's or last night's three-game slate. What we're gonna do, I did not issue a core four. I believe it is irresponsible for me to do so because that is not the way I play on slates 5 games or less. I am stacking to get to the cash line. I just want to pick up a little extra change to go ahead and play a larger slate for the next day or whenever the next larger slate comes up. So we're gonna bypass any core four talk, but I do see a really nice core four brewing for tomorrow. I think you're gonna want to fuck with me tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump into that 3-game slate. We're gonna start with the feature for players of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop in the Facebook VIP. I didn't say VIPs, VIP, because we have merged. We merged the VIPs. We're all one unit, and that is what I am most excited about because we are going to swing a mighty blow as one group, as we should have been doing the whole time, man. So we've got the VIPs merged. It's a very exciting time. We've got some new stuff coming out, so it's going to be a really exciting time for the fastest growing community in daily fantasy sports, and I'm so proud to be a part of this thing, man. Thank you to all of you and for everything that you've been doing so far. Let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 players. The Who Dat scoring all them points over there player tonight is going to come from an Oklahoma City stack that I talked about or that was sent out to everybody in email form yesterday. It is Anthony Robinson. 3.3K, 16% ownership was very low for him on a 3-game slate. He goes out and scores 36.75 DraftKings points. An awesome game we saw from him. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight. Now, I did not stack Boston at all. It wasn't an offense I was particularly keen on stacking. So I missed out on a couple good plays. Most notably, Al Horford at 22% ownership, 6.9K. He went out and dropped the 50 burger. 50.75 points for him. Awesome play. How the fuck did I miss that player tonight? Goes to Al Horford. And the heat check player tonight can only go to one guy, man. In your Oklahoma City stacks, if you had this guy, if you had the Who Dat player and this guy and Westbrook, you fucking balled out. There's no doubt about it. We're talking about Vic Oladipo at 26% ownership, 5.4K was the salary on him. He went out and got you 52.75 DraftKings points. Excellent. Awesome game for him. And now we must talk about that one motherfucker. 31% ownership. This dude was highly owned. I think he was the second highest or maybe third highest owned player to Russell Westbrook. And 31% ownership, 5K, a nice price on him. He brought you back 15.75 DraftKings points. Evan Turner, tonight you are a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your ass again tonight. But we're not gonna go hard on you because there's another motherfucker who I know we think he got away from me because I don't normally do shows on Saturday night because the Sunday slates are so small. But this motherfucker from Friday night, Elfrid Payton, you a motherfucking snowflake. You a snowflake, and I'm telling you, I ain't gonna roster your ass again. Period. I am done with Elfrid Payton. He is almost dead to me. That's a motherfucking rap. I'm done with Elfrid Payton. I will not be rostering his ass again. Never. Fuck you, Elfrid Payton. You a fucking snowflake. You destroyed the core four. You destroyed a lot of good lineups, and you made me look like a fool. So fuck you. You're done. Now, let's go ahead real quick and break down last night's 3-game slate. We're gonna start in Brooklyn, where the Nets were hosting the Toronto Raptors. This was an awesome game. We saw a triple-double for your boy Kyle Lowry. 39 minutes for him leading his team. He had 15 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists to go with the steal as well. He only shot 38% from the field, going 5 for 13, but 5 for 6 from free throw, and did not hit a 3-point shot. It still was a decent game. He got you 50. Not 6x value, but a really good game nonetheless. Next guy I'm going to talk about, Jonas Valanciunas. 25 minutes, he dropped 22 points, had 5 rebounds, 1 steal, shooting 52% from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Really nice game there. DeMar Carroll was an excellent play in this stack. If you did, 31 minutes, he had 15 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, 3 steals, and a block while shooting 54% from the field and hit 2 of 5 from three-point land. Really nice game there. Patrick Siakam, in 29 minutes, had 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal in his 29 minutes. And we saw a really nice game off of the bench for Terrence Ross, 17 and 3 to go with 2 assists, 1 block while shooting 7 for 11. That is 63% from the field and hit 3 of 4 3-point shots. Nice game there we saw from Terrence Ross. Fred VanVleet was a guy, who people were asking me all day, what am I going to do? Is Fred VanVleet or Corey Joseph? Well, I didn't want either one of them motherfuckers. I really didn't. I didn't want to play either one of them motherfuckers. Neither one of them had a stellar game, and that's just not. That just wasn't where I thought I was going to get the most bang for my buck. So I didn't roster any of those guys. They both had bad games. Next, we'll talk about the Brooklyn side, man. We saw a nice game from Brook Lopez, 20 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks while shooting 35% from the field. He hit 1 of 4 3-point shots, 7 of 8 free throws. We need Brook Lopez to score more in the paint in order to really maximize on his scoring potential. A really good game we saw from Trevor Booker, 15 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals while shooting 53% from the field and hit 1 of 1 3-point shots. Sean Kilpatrick was probably my favorite play from this game. He's the only one that I did roster. Maybe I had a little bit of him and Brook Lopez as some one-offs to go with my other stacks. 18 points for Kilpatrick, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, shooting 50% from the field, and 5 for 9 from behind the arc. Really nice game we saw from Sean Kilpatrick. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Boston Celtics at the crib hosting the LA Clippers. Now, this game had a lot of fanfare associated with it. It brought us back to the old, to last season when Kobe went out and dropped 60 in his last game, and old Paul Pierce is not old Kobe. It was a bad idea from the start. A lot of cats were like, yo, what you going to do, man? Are you going to start? He's starting tonight. Are you going to? No, I'm not starting that dude. No, he's old, and it's over. And he's going to waste a roster spot. He's probably going to hit 1 3-pointer and walk off. Like, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't do it. So on the Clipper side, Paul Pierce had 3 points in 5 minutes, knocked down a 3 and sat down. That's it. He didn't do anything else. Blake Griffin in his 36 minutes had 23 and 8 to go with 4 assists and 1 steal. Pretty decent game there. DeAndre Jordan grabbed 16 boards, but he only scored 6 points and had 3 assists while shooting 33% from the field. Not what we need from DeAndre Jordan. Jamal Crawford balled out off of the bench. He played 33 minutes, had 23 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and shot 44% from the field and hit 3 of 9 3-point shots. Big Mo Buckets in his 17 minutes had 11 and 5. Not a great game there from him. Didn't see much else from the LA Clippers side, but on the Boston side, they were double figures very deep into their rotation. I'm talking about Kelly Olynyk had 13 and 3 to go with 3 assists, shooting 55% from the field and hit 3 of 5 3-point shots. Really nice game there. Isaiah Thomas underwhelmed, so to speak, for the price point he was at. He had 28 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, shooting 38% from the field. We need to get that shooting percentage up. He did hit 11 of 12 free throw shots, but he took 11 3-pointers and only hit 3. Horrible 3-point shooting game for Isaiah Thomas. Al Horford had a balling game out, 13 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He only shot 30% from the field, but he did hit 3 of 9 3-point shots. Pretty good game we saw from Amir Johnson at his price point, 13 and 6 to go with 1 assist in his 28 minutes. And Jay Crowder in 33 minutes had 11 and 6 to go with 2 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block while shooting 36% from the field. He did hit 3 of 9 3-point shots. Not a great shooting game from him, but a really nice fantasy game if you did give him a shot. Marcus Smart in 30 minutes had 13 and 3 to go with 3 assists. Not a great game there. Next game I'm going to talk about, and the last game on the slate, is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder at the crib taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. I really thought I was going to see a bigger game from Russell Westbrook, but we're going to start on the Portland side, where Dame Lillard finally had a really nice performance, man. At 36 minutes, he had 29 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks, while shooting 40% from the field and hit 4 of 9 3-point shots, and going 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Really nice game we saw from him. Mason Plumlee shit the bread, 13 and 4 to go with 3 assists. Not a great game there. He also did have a block, but not a great game for him at all. And CJ McCollum, not a nice one at all for him either. 19 and 8 to go with 1 assist and shot 7 for 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from the 3-point line. Allen Crabbe in his 29 minutes off of the bench had 10 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. Not a great game overall for the Portland Trail Blazers. On the Oklahoma City side, Andre Roberson, we talked about him earlier, 14 points, 11 boards to go with 1 assist, 3 steals, shooting 75% from the field, going 6 of 8. He did attempt a 3-point shot, did not make it, but he hit 2 of 2 free throws. Pretty nice game there from him. Steven Adams, 7 points, 13 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals. Not an awesome game from him. But Vic Oladipo, man, he balled the fuck out. He is our heat check player tonight. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, shooting 44% from the field. Hit 7 of 9 free throws and 1 of 4 3-point shots. Russell Westbrook hung up 42 points. But he just didn't get it done in the other areas the way we would have expected him to do. He had 4 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 47% from the field, hit 1 of 6 3-point shots, and did get to the line 11 times. Him and James Harden, man, they are getting to the fucking free throw line. They are robbing the league when it comes to shooting free throws. Joffrey Lavergne, 7 and 9 to go with 2 assists, while shooting 3 of 6 from the field for 50%. Not a great game there, but it was very cheap, so I'm sure he helped you if you did have him. Now that we did a quick recap of last night's games, we're going to take a look forward to tomorrow's slate, and we're going to kind of break down what's going on now. Monday, we've got 11 games. Huge 11-game slate. Really nice amount of value I think is going to be coming out there. Then Tuesday, we only have 3 games. So we're back to a very, very short slate. That's a slate that we're going to be stacking on Tuesday. A couple nice matchups in there. We do have Kemba at home against the Brooklyn Nets there. That's the place that we want to target. And we've got, of course, Dwight Howard in a matchup against the Orlando Magic again. And then we have the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers as the late 8:30 game. Wednesday, we go back up to 12 games. So we're ramping it back up Wednesday. We go from 11 to 3, back up to 12 games. Thursday, a 5-game slate. That's going to be another stacked slate. I'm looking at going to one of these games on the slate. It is the Charlotte Hornets at home with the visiting Houston Rockets. If you got some tickets to this game, you wouldn't mind throwing your boy, just let me know. I'll definitely take you up on that. I'll be off to work that night, so I'll take the wife down to Charlotte. We can watch James Harden for a while. And Friday is a 9-game slate. That's a really nice one too. Got some really good matchups on that one. And Saturday we're going to do 8 games that start at 5 o'clock. So we're probably going to have a 7-game slate starting at the 7 o'clock point because we've got that one early game with the LA Clippers going to Charlotte to take on the Hornets. So Sunday we back up. There's no more football, so it's going to be a lot of basketball on Sunday. It's a 4-game slate on Sunday. It's going to start at 3:30, so that's going to be one of those choppier slates that you may not want to, invest in too much. So if you had to take a day off, I think Sunday would be a nice day to relax and chill. So now that we've talked about the upcoming slates for the week, real quick, man. A lot of times you might hear me say, man, we are the best. We the best. Because we are. We just are. Uh, nobody's doing what we're doing. Nobody's doing what we're doing. And I don't say this to put anybody else down, but just to really shed light on what we're doing here in the DFS Sweatshop. No other place is going to teach you things like roster construction, actual tournaments to play in, where to place your bets at, bankroll management, how to not blow your wad immediately. Because we have a lot of guys in here in the sweatshop that may have a really great night and win, and then the very next night they go all in with their buy-in, thinking that every night is going to be that way. But that's not the way it is, man. This is a slow grind. It's an 82-game season, and this is preparation for baseball season because we've got 162 games in baseball. So you've really got to pay attention to your bankrolls. You got to pay attention to your roster construction, the things that we teach in the sweatshop, as well as just being in tune with what is going on in the DFS community. Because one of our major stepping stones, or one of the major things that we have on a lot of other people, a lot of other sites, is that we pay attention to what's being said around the industry. We know that the same people that invest about half the money that goes into NBA DFS are the same people that are the media sources that tell us who to play. We understand that in the sweatshop. We know that these are poker players. We know this shit is like poker. And if you can tell, if you can read the guy across from his face and kind of tell what his hand is, you know when to hold him, you know when to fold him. So those are the things that we teach, man. We teach bankroll management. We teach understanding what's going on in the actual NBA or whatever DFS industry. We teach bankroll management. All of these things together culminate to make us profitable DFS players, and that's what we want for you too. So if you want to join the movement, we are very, very still very small. We're very small, but so is NBA DFS, but we're large enough to really strike a blow, and that's what we do every night. Every night we strike a blow in DFS. So if you want to be involved, man, definitely come on. Go to the website www.dfssweatshop.com, and that's where you're going to get all of those tutorials. You're going to get all of those teachings, and the most important thing you're going to get is that community, that family vibe that we do have in our VIP group. So I'm just welcoming you, and I'll be glad to have you. Let's go ahead and jump really quick into the player pricing for tomorrow's 11-game slate. And what we want to do here is we want to go ahead and jump into a player pool. We want to have a pool of players in our heads. We look at this so we can say, yo, I'm not playing that dude, or I really like that dude. That guy's in a great spot. And honestly, to be honest with you, I haven't looked at any of this yet. You're getting the uncut, unfiltered, knee-jerk reaction. Like the first look. This is what you're getting here. And you got to know that, a lot of times that first look is going to be the best look. So like we always do, I like to open up the slates for you and give you a hint on how to play it and where to put your money. Let's look at this. It's going to start at 7 p.m. We've got 11 games on a complete slate. We've got a 3-game late slate here. We've got a 3-game turbo slate. We've got a 2-game later and another 2-game turbo at 8 o'clock. So if you don't feel comfortable, being a part of a complete 11-game slate, take advantage of the smaller choppier slates. If you feel like you do better when it comes to the smaller slates, jump in those. You don't have to go in the main. You don't have to go in the main. And me, I don't play cash games. I play single entry tournaments because that's where I have the most success at. And I suggest that if you're a member of the sweatshop, try your hand in the single entry tournaments. Those are really good tournaments to play. So let's go ahead and open this up so we can jump into our player pricing. Old Fred with the balls out. Open this up. Go to all of them. And the first thing we're going to see is that Russell Westbrook is the highest salaried player on the slate coming up. He is at 12.7 tomorrow, approaching 3K. They must know that this is an excellent matchup for him. I see a huge game from Russell Westbrook. I don't normally pay up for these cats once they eclipse that 12K mark, but I definitely see the value in somebody wanting to roster Russell Westbrook. What we have to look at is enough value going to open up for us to roster him and fit him in our builds? And I think on 11 game slate, it's going to. So Russell Westbrook is definitely in play for me tomorrow. DeMarcus Cousins at 10.9 at home, going up against one of the best rebounding teams in the league. The DVP says it's 19th. I don't like DeMarcus Cousins as much at that price point. If I'm paying 11K for anybody, I might as well just go the fuck up to Russell Westbrook as my thinking when it comes to DeMarcus Cousins. Am I saying he doesn't have a great game? No, of course he has. I think he has a good game. I think he has a good game. But maybe he doesn't have that huge rebounding game that we need to see from him in order for him to really make value. Last time out, he did have a triple double, so he's definitely somebody that we can watch. John Wall, one of my favorite point guard players on the slate, at 10.5K. I think the price is pretty fair on him. Going up against Kyrie Irving defense, we know Kyrie sat out last time, so he's probably going to play. We want Kyrie Irving on the floor up against the offensive minded point guard like John Wall. I like him tomorrow. LeBron James in a really nice spot at 10.4. The only problem I have with these two being priced up the way they are is, well, in this game, if I'm going to pay 10.5 for John Wall, I might as well just cop LeBron James at 10.4. It's a little bit of my thinking. Anthony Davis at 10.3 against the Phoenix Suns at home. I kind of like that at 10.3. Karl Anthony Towns is in a plus matchup against the Miami Heat at 10.1. He's somebody who you definitely can look at. Jimmy Butler is questionable. If he does play, I still don't like him just because that bruised heel. I'm not fucking with that. Nikola Jokic is in probably the worst matchup when it comes to the center position. He is still going to be in play for a lot of people. The price is 9K on him. The only thing that I can see you rostering Nikola Jokic is if you're playing the ownership card. If you're saying that people are going to look at on DraftKings and see that this is the number one ranked defense against the center position, and you say, man, he's going to go low owned, then I say, yeah, fire him up. Because I don't think the ownership is going to be very high on him because people are going to see that big red one and they're not going to want to roster him. Kyle Lowry at 8.9, going up against the Clippers. I think he's definitely in play at that price point. He's been balling out of control lately. Blake Griffin at 8.8. The price is finally up on him. I don't like him tomorrow. Kawhi Leonard is not a player that I really like at 8.4. Andre Drummond is in a really nice matchup, especially if we don't see Joel Embiid tomorrow. 8.3 is the price with him. I think you can pay up there. Kevin Love, 8.2. Nice. I like that tomorrow. I kind of like a big three stack tomorrow. I think I'm going to be rolling that in some situations. We see the prices up on Hassan Whiteside. I need to see a little more consistency out of him before I can pay up that price there. I don't like him too much tomorrow. Joel Embiid, it says he's out. We're going to know for sure tomorrow if he's going to be playing or not. Kyrie Irving is questionable at 8K. I think if he does play, you can definitely fire him up. Chris Paul still out. Jrue Holiday at 7.9. The price is up on him. Now, Jrue Holiday at up almost around 8K, even though he's been playing very well lately, I think that's a little too rich for me. Paul George at 7.8 is a play that I definitely can get behind. I like Eric Bledsoe at 7.9. That price is down on him. This dude was just almost 9K. I like him. I like him at that price point. Actually, I love him. 7.9 is a really solid price for Eric Bledsoe. Carmelo Anthony against the LA Lakers at home. He's going to be seeing defense probably from Lou Alding, who's a pretty solid defender, one of the better on-ball defenders. And the Lakers really restrict the small forward position a lot. And I don't know if I'll be taking a shot on Carmelo Anthony tomorrow. I don't think so. DeMar DeRozan probably is going to play tomorrow. If he does, I still don't like him. Dwayne Wade at 7.5 isn't a play for me. Gordon Hayward is a play I really like at 7.4, but we know whenever we see the Utah Jazz on the slate, we know that probably is going to be one of the lower point totals on the slate. So we've got to be able to look out for that. Marc Gasol at 7.3. I like him against San Antonio Spurs, but we've got to pay attention to what happened last time Because the Spurs played Nikola Jokic, man, and they pretty much bottled him up. Can that be done against Marc Gasol? Probably not. But I don't know if I want to take a shot here against the San Antonio defense on a huge slate, a big slate like this, where I know I can probably find a center at a little less or a little bit more that I feel more comfortable rostering. Goran Dragic at 7.2. He is definitely in play against the Ricky Rubio defense. I like him tomorrow. Rudy Gobert, him and Dwight Howard are going to cancel each other out. I'm probably not going to fuck with either one of those guys. Andrew Wiggins is not in play for me at 7.1. Jeff Teague is in play at 7.1. That price is still pretty good on him. It's pretty good. I like that price. D'Angelo Russell is up to 7K. He is a 7K player. He is. He is a 7K player. But it felt so good to roster him at 5.8. I don't think I'm going to have too much D'Angelo Russell tomorrow. DeAndre Jordan is not in play for me, even though this is the 23rd ranked DVP against the center position. I just don't like DeAndre tomorrow at 7K. Paul Millsap, revenge game, 6.9. That's a very low price on a guy who's going to want to play well against the Utah Jazz. He's going to want to play well against his former team. I like Paul Millsap tomorrow, even though it's the sixth ranked DVP against the power forward position. I think we can definitely go to Paul Millsap in a revenge game at 6.9. Dion Waiters, just roster him. Just roster him. He's been playing very well. The price is still fairly cheap, 6.9. Roster him. Devin Booker, I never roster Devin Booker, and it always hurts me. So if I do roster tomorrow, he's probably gonna stink. But the DVP is eighth ranked against the New Orleans Pelicans. Tyreek Evans is a fairly decent defender when he is on the ball. 6.9 is the price on Devin Booker. I don't like him very much. Dwight Howard is a no for me. Bradley Beal at 6.8 is a very interesting play. If there's anywhere you can straight up attack the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's at the shooting guard position. I like him tomorrow. Brandon Jennings, 6.8. That price is high. And he's been making value every price point he's been. This is going to be a real test. This is going to be a test to see if Brandon Jennings is really, really a 6+ K player as far as he costs more than Mike Conley. I would much rather have Mike Conley in a plus matchup, a more plus matchup against San Antonio Spurs than I would Brandon Jennings against the LA Lakers. I would much rather have Mike Conley. Kristaps Porzingis, 6.7. I like that. I really like that a lot against the LA Lakers. He's a very nice player, I think. My top play from the New York Knicks. Ricky Rubio at 6.6 is not a play that I'm interested in. Markieff Morris, 6.5, going up against the 22nd ranked DVP against the power forward position. I think he's in play. I do think he's in play. Miles Turner is a no for me at 6.4. Harrison Barnes, yes, at 6.3. Ersan is a no for me. Aldridge is a no for me. Marcin Gortat is the second ranked DVP against the center position. I think that really means something, so I won't be going Gortat tomorrow. Austin Rivers is not a play that I like very much. Yogi Ferrell, the price is 6K. If we know that we're not going to be seeing Darren Williams, I say fire up Yogi. He's going to have to show us that we're wrong in rostering because he's been balling out of control lately. This dude is really playing good basketball. Wilson Chandler at 6K is not a player that I'm very interested in tomorrow. Otto Porter is a no for me. Seth Curry, low bruh, is definitely in play against the Denver Nuggets at 5.9K. Now, he may be seeing some defense from Gary Harris, who's a really solid defender, but they roll so many three guard sets technically in Dallas that I think that the DVP can be hidden behind that, and I think Seth Curry can have a good game tomorrow. Reggie Jackson at 5.9, the price is down on him going up against TJ McConnell. I think he's in play. Lou Williams at 5.9 this is the seventh ranked DVP against the shooting guard position, but this guy jumps up with the second team. I think he can ball out against my New York Knicks. George Hill is a very interesting play at 5.8. You know I like to target Atlanta when it comes to the primary ball handlers or the point guard position. George Hill's price is 5.8. He has not been playing particularly well lately, so I will proceed with caution as I try to attack Atlanta on the perimeter. Wesley Matthews is in play at 5.8. I like him. Robert Covington, if he does play, I still don't like him at 5.8. Steven Adams is in play for me definitely at 5.8. I think he's a virtual lock for at least 5x value tomorrow. I love him a lot tomorrow. Jonas Valanciunas is a no for me at 5.8. Nerlens Noel, no. Zebo, I don't like him at all tomorrow. Derrick Rose, if he does play, I do not like him. And that being said, I wouldn't like Brandon Jennings either. This dude doesn't even deserve to be the starter right now. Brandon Jennings has outplayed this guy. And I really don't think he should get a start if he is ready to play. Julius Randle is a play I like at 5.7. The price is down on him, the lowest we've probably seen all year long. I think we should take advantage of that at some point. Dennis Schroeder is a no. I'm not rostering a point guard against the Utah Jazz perimeter defense. Plus, this is probably going to be one of the lower point totals on the slate. Marcus Morris, yes, he's in play for me at 5.6. I like him. Vic Oladipo, yes, at 5.6. I like him. Tim Hardaway Jr., the first-ranked defense against the shooting guard position. If Thabo Sefolosha is not playing, he's been outplaying his salary for the last few games. I'm not scared of it being first-ranked. I'm more scared of the point total, so I won't be having any Tim Hardaway Jr. tomorrow. Darren Williams, if he plays, I don't like him. Gallinari, he may be out. Need to check on him and make sure he's going to be playing. If he does, I still don't like him very much. James Johnson is a no for me. KCP is a very interesting play at 5.5. He had a couple stinkers in a row. He always plays well or bad in streaks. He'll have a couple good games, couple bad games, couple good games, couple bad games. So I do like him tomorrow. Norman Powell at 5.8. If we don't see DeMar DeRozan, of course he's in play. If DeMar plays, no, not at all. Terrence Jones is not a play that I'm particularly interested in. I'd have to know that we weren't going to see Anthony Davis in order to roster him. Tobias Harris is in play at 5.4. Thad Young probably will not play. We probably will see some Lavoy Allen tomorrow. If we do, I do like him against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tyler Johnson is not in play for me tomorrow. Will Barton is the player that I'm kind of interested in. I like him there. Dirk Nowitzki, no. David Lee, no. Guillermo Hernan Gomez. Willie Hernan Gomez at 5.2. The price is up a little bit on him. This can be a solid matchup for him if we know he's going to get the start. I don't like to roster bench guys on slates this big. Guys, I mean key guys. Like if I'm taking a flyer on a guy that I know is going to come off of the bench and get some solid minutes at 4K or less, yeah, that's cool. But 5.2, man, that's damn near starter salary. And to get a return on that, he's going to have a really nice game. We're talking 33 points. That's what we're going to need from him in order for him to make value. And I don't know if he does that tomorrow. JJ Redick is a no for me. Gorgie Jang is a no. Tyson Chandler, yes. Give me some Tyson Chandler against the New Orleans Pelicans. They are very bad against the center spot. Kenneth Faried is in play at 5K if he does get the start. Paul is out. Ennis Cantor broke his hand punching a chair. Raymond Felton is in a decent matchup tomorrow at 5K. If he does get the start, I think we can look to him. TJ McConnell is a no for me. Matt Barnes, yes. If you're looking for that salary savings, 4.9K is a fair price for him. Taj Gibson, I like Taj Gibson tomorrow. 4.9K. Going up against Boogie, so his defense is going to be up. The only problem I foresee is maybe some foul trouble for him. PJ Tucker at 4.9, that price is too high for him right now. I'm not feeling that. Darren Collison is a no for me at 4.8. Tyreke Evans is a play that I'm kind of interested in at 4.8. That's a very cheap price for a guy that's going to start and see a lot of defensive usage. As we know, Devin Booker has been very ball dominant lately. Gary Harris is a nice play at 4.7, I think. So Jamal Crawford is not a play I'm interested in. Derek Favors is not a play I like. Channing Frye, the only way I would roster Channing Frye tomorrow at 4.6K is if something happens and we know we're not going to see Kevin Love. Tristan Thompson is in play for me at 4.6. I like that. Jameer Nelson is a no for me. Zach LaVine is out for the season. Sorry about that, Zach. Gino Okafor probably won't play tomorrow. If he does, I still don't like him. Courtney Lee at 4.5 is a play that I'm kind of interested in. We know that it's very easy to target the Lakers when it comes to the shooting guard position. Kent Bazemore is dead to me. Dario Saric is a no for me. John Lure is a play I still like at 4.4K. JaMychal Green had the game of his life last time out. Don't think that happens again. Nick Young, Swaggy P is not a play that I like very much. Emmanuel Mudiay, if he does start, I still don't like him. Shabazz Muhammad is a no. Robin Lopez is a no for me. Jordan Clarkson is a no. TJ Warren is a play that I have a fair amount of interest in at 4.3K. He's been playing a little bit better lately, and I think we can see a nice game from him if he gets enough minutes in a kind of an up-paced matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans. Tony Parker is a no for me. CJ Miles, 4.2. I think so. Joe Ingles, 4.1 if he does get the start. In place of Rodney Hood, we can definitely look to him. Michael Carter Williams had a boss game out last time. Follow that shit if you want to. It's going to lead you down a rabbit hole. 4.1, I don't like him. Rodney Hood is out. We talked about him. Willie Reed is a no. Rashawn Holmes, I kind of like Rashawn Holmes at 4K, even though he's going up against one of the better defenses to get the center spot. I still like him. He's going to be seeing some second team, maybe some Aaron Baines. I like Rashawn Holmes tomorrow if we know that Embiid and/or Noel and Okafor are going to be out. He's going to see solid minutes at 4K. You kind of can't beat that. Tony Allen at 4K is a player that I kind of like. He's going to be seeing defense from Danny Green. I think he can rebound against him and have a good game. Rajon Rondo is a no for me. Ty Lawson is a no for me. Terrence Ross is not a player that I'm interested in. Danny Green at 3.9 is a no. Miritic, no. DeMar Carroll is interesting. I may have some Carroll in there because the price is still cheap, 3.9. Shelvin Mack is not a play that I'm interested in tomorrow. Neither is Joe Johnson. Yusuf Nurkic is a no. Gerald Henderson is a no. Dwayne Dedmon, no. Kyle O'Quinn is interesting at 3.8, but it's so hard to guess the center rotation for the New York Knicks that the most I have is a little bit of Hernan Gomez in spots. That's the very most I'm going to have. I think it's going to be the chalk. I think everybody's going to be on Hernan Gomez tomorrow. And, it might be a solid spot to fade because the price is up on him just a bit. Sauce's a no. Patty Mills, no. Let's look for somebody. Larry Nance Jr., 3.7. 3.7. You've got to look at that. That's still a very good price for him. He balled out last time out. Now, we didn't see Julius Randle, but who's to say that he has not made himself, again, a solid part of the rotation as he was before the injury? Luol Deng, 3.7, is going to see a lot of defensive usage for guarding Carmelo Anthony. That has him on the floor, I think, 30 minutes. I like Luol Deng tomorrow. Lavoy Allen is 3.7K. If he does get to start again for the injured Thaddeus Young, I think we can look to him. Salah Mejri is a play I kind of like at 3.6K. I kind of like him. The price is very cheap on him. That's the salary savings right there. Brandon Rush, he already showed us that he's not worth salary. Now, he was 3K and shit the bed starting in place of Zach LaVine, and now he's 3.6. Fuck no. 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 Jason Holiday deserves consideration as a punt play at the shooting guard position, 3.6. Mo Buckets is a no for me. Lucas Negrera. Now they're going to be on a back-to-back. I think we're going to see a little more increased minutes for Lucas Negrera, especially if Patrick Patterson doesn't play. 3.6K is the salary. I think we can look to him to return value fairly easily. Thomas Epalosha, if he is out, then you're going to see that uptick in minutes for Tim Hardaway Jr., who's probably going to get the start. I don't like either of them. Even if Tabo plays, I don't like him either. JJ Barea is probably going to be out. Wayne Ellington is a no for me. Sergio Rodriguez, no. Aaron Baines, no. Harrison is not in play. Jonathan is not in play. Let's look and find Joakim Noah probably going to be out tomorrow. That's why everybody is on Hernan Gomez for the cheap. If he does get the start, I like him. Joffrey Lavergne, 3.5. I think we can look to that. Alec Burks, I think we can look to him at 3.4 as well. Dwight Powell is a no for me. Juancho, the brother, Hernan Gomez, 3.4 is a no for me. I kind of like Manu Ginobili at 3.4. I like that tomorrow. To save some salary, I like that. Let's go ahead and find some value here. Aaron Aflalo, 3.3 is a player you can look to. Is going to see a lot of minutes if we still have those same injuries. Justin Anderson, 3.2. That's a player that we can look to tomorrow. Darrell Arthur at 3.2. I kind of like that. Chandler Parsons is a no for me. Monte Ellis had a good game out last time. Don't think that happens again. Brandon Knight, 3.2. He's kind of like played himself out of the rotation. So I don't like him tomorrow. But if Buddy Hield is starting, 3.2K is not a bad price for a guy that cheap. Sabonis at 3.1 is not a bad price for a guy that cheap either. I kind of like Sabonis tomorrow to save some salary, especially if I'm going to be rostering Russell Westbrook. I could throw him in there, have like a little mini stack. Him, Depot, and Domantas Sabonis might return some dividends for us. Let's look at the 3K play of the day. Who would that be? Once again, the pickings are slim. Even on 11-game slate, man, it is hard to find a guy at 3K that we can just roster with confidence. Boban at 3K. This Philly game blows out. We see 15 minutes from Boban. He goes out and scores 15 points and grabs 15 boards in like 15 minutes. Somebody to look at. Trey Burke at 3K could see some minutes out there. Look at him. Jason Smith at 3K could see some minutes against Cleveland if the game kind of gets out of hand. So, not too much to love in the way of value plays at 3K yet. But as news breaks and things come out, we can definitely take a more solid approach once we are in the know. Kuzminskis at 3K, kind of like that. Thomas Robinson at 3K. Mozgov at 3K. I kind of like that. That's a very cheap price for a guy that could double-double. I like that. Right. So, now that we have went over the player pool, kind of got an idea on when everybody is priced at, X'd off some guys that we really don't want, included the guys that we think are in decent spots and worth paying up for or paying down for, whatever the case may be. let's go ahead and get the logo cracking and jump into a detailed slate breakdown when it comes to the point totals and what we can expect in the realm of game flow and knowing what guys are going to be doing. And, I fancy myself to be pretty good at this because I just watch so many NBA games, man. I dedicate a lot of my time to actually watching the game and just, getting the feel for where guys are and what they're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and jump to that. We are going to start we're going to start in Oklahoma City, where the Thunder are coming to town to in Indiana, where the Oklahoma City Thunder are coming to town to take on Paul George and his Pacers. This is a 210.5 point total, with Indiana giving up 4.5 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, Indiana is not a great team, so I don't think that they should be giving up points. I see Oklahoma City beating them straight up at home. In that, I do see a very competitive game, a game that I think is going to be decided in the fourth quarter, maybe late in the fourth quarter. That means we're going to get probably a full run of Russell Westbrook, who I already told you I do like him a lot tomorrow. I think he's in line to be the top fantasy scorer on the slate. He's definitely in line to do that. So I do like Russell Westbrook tomorrow. Staying on the Oklahoma City side, we already talked about Steven Adams and how I think he's a double-double in waiting tomorrow. Also, if you wanted to save some salary, Sabonis would probably be a decent play, maybe as well as Joffrey Lavergne at 3.5K. I kind of like him. On the Indiana side, I do not like Paul George tomorrow. I don't. Roberson is one of the better on-ball defenders, and the Oklahoma City Thunder do a lot to restrict the small forward position. I was on Paul George the last time he balled out. I don't think we see that from him tonight. I think it actually comes from Jeff Teague. Man, Jeff Teague's gonna have a nice game. I think the pace is gonna be dictated by the best player on the floor, like it usually is, being Russell Westbrook. That means a ton of possessions for both teams on the floor. I would bet the over, the 210.5 point total. I would definitely bet the over in this game. I think we see a lot of nice scores on the Oklahoma City side as well as the Indiana Pacers side. Another guy I like is we talked about C.J. Miles getting a start recently, and if that continues, I like him. I like C.J. Miles tomorrow. I think he can be a really decent play. Oladipo is a really nice defender, but this dude just shoots the ball so deep and with such frequency, with such frequency that I think he can do just enough of what he needs to do to make value at that just above 4K price point. Miles Turner does not interest me in the least tomorrow. Lavoy Allen is kind of somebody who I might look to if I'm looking for that cheap power forward that's going to be in a starting position, because we know the NBA gives us plays through injury, rest, suspension, things of that nature. We get guys that are fairly cheap stepping into starting roles, as we saw him last time out really ball for the price point he was at. Next game we're going to talk about is the LA Lakers going to take on my New York Knicks. There is not a point spread yet released for this game. So we're dealing with a couple of injuries on the Knicks side. Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose. We just had a questionable tag come off of Julius Randle. He had been out for a game or two. The price hike on D'Angelo Russell kind of scares me off of him, because he's got to have a 40-some-odd point game in order to get the value that we want when it comes to that 6X. So he's not somebody that I'm very interested in. Lou Williams off of the bench is somebody I do like. Jordan Clarkson is also in play. I think we can look to the very cheap at Timothy Mozgov. He's probably going to get that start again. And he doesn't have to do much to return value on 3K. Now, essentially, on an 11-game slate, if you're rostering a guy that cheap, you want him to be able to get 30 points. You want 30-point upside. So if you get a guy, starting at 3K who has a chance to really make an impact on the game early and play well and earn more minutes while he's out there, I think you can definitely look to Timothy Mozgov tomorrow as a cheap punt play at the center position. We talked about, seeing a lot of defensive usage for Luol Deng guarding Carmelo Anthony. I think that's a really nice spot for him. On the Knicks side, Brandon Jennings, the price is up a little bit, and I don't think I'm going to be biting on that. I would rather pay down some and grab Mike Conley in a plus matchup against San Antonio Spurs. Hernangomez is probably going to be the chalk tomorrow. Everybody's going to have him in the roster. I say roll with him. I say grab him. I say just put him in your lineup. I'm gonna roster a core 4, but it's really gonna be a core 5 because I'm telling you, just play Hernangomez tomorrow. Not because I think he's gonna ball out, but because everybody else is gonna play him. And if this dude goes out and plays starter minutes, gets 32 minutes and scores 45 points, it's gonna be very hard for you to catch up to the rest of the field if you don't have him in your lineups because the price is just cheap enough to where fading him could really cost you. Fading him could really cost you. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Washington, take on the Wizards. This is a very high point total, a really nice one. 220 points is the total, and the spread is even. So maybe they know something I don't know. Maybe they know that Kyrie is not going to be playing. Maybe they know that Kevin Love is not going to be playing. I don't know. But we've got to stay tuned, follow the beat writers, stay in tune with Twitter, ESPN, anywhere we can to get that late breaking up to the minute news so we know who's playing. Guys, I like in this game on the Washington side. I think Markieff Morris is in play against Kevin Love. I also am really fond of John Wall in this game. Now, we talked earlier about choosing between John Wall and LeBron James. Maybe enough value opens up to where you can roster both of them. And the fact that we've got an even point spread, if we know that the big three is going to be playing, why not stack them all? We know that some value is going to be opening up. That may be a really good way to go. So Tristan Thompson, I think he's in play for me. I don't want anything as far as bigs on the Washington Wizards side, talking about the center spot. I'm good there. I think Bradley Beal can be a nice play. This could be a nice game stack. If this is one of those, if we find this game in one of those little turbo slates or something like that, or in a smaller slate, which I don't think we will. We probably won't. But I do like a Cleveland Washington kind of game stack situation. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Utah Jazz going to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. A couple things I do like about this game. We talked about that revenge narrative when it comes to Paul Millsap. This is going to be a spot where an extremely talented guy, an overly talented guy, who we know has 50, sometimes 60-point upside, is going to be facing his former team who he left on bad terms. I like Paul Millsap tomorrow. I do. If this game was in Utah, I wouldn't like him as much, just because they're a better team. Utah is a better team in Utah, but I do like him tomorrow in Atlanta. I like Paul Millsap tomorrow. I think we can attempt to exploit the Atlanta perimeter with George Hill if we feel confident in his ability to return 6x value on that sub 6K salary. I like Gordon Hayward tomorrow. The only thing that kind of scares me with this game is the point total. It's 197.5 points, but the spread is so close. It's a point and a half. So the Atlanta Hawks are giving up a point and a half to the Utah Jazz, which makes this game very playable, even though the point total is low and it might scare a lot of people off them. So I do see a lot of these guys coming at very low ownership. I don't like the center spot on either spot for either team. I'm not going to go there with that. So this is going to be a very interesting game. Probably one of the better games on the slate. Maybe an overtime candidate. The next game we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers going to Motown to take on the Detroit Pistons. This is a 213-point total, with the Pistons giving up 9.5. This game could definitely blow out very easily, especially if we see nice games on the Detroit perimeter, most notably KCP as well as Reggie Jackson. They're both in bounce-back spots. I think this backcourt definitely takes advantage of the Philadelphia 76ers. We can see a nice big double-double coming at the center spot. Everybody's going to be on Drummond. I think that makes him the chalk. So I'm fading. Whenever chalk is priced up that high, I'm going to take my chances fading because there's definitely a chance that I can find a guy to give me similar production at maybe a little bit cheaper price point. On the Philadelphia side, not too much I like there. Actually, nothing I like there. Rashawn Holmes for the cheap. Ersan Ilyasova's in a minus matchup. I don't like that. I would rather go Markieff Morris. He's priced down on the other side of the ball from Ersan Ilyasova. Not too much that I like. Next game I'm going to talk about is the LA Clippers going to Toronto to take on the Raptors. Toronto Raptors are on a back-to-back as well as the LA Clippers. There's no point total yet for this game because we know DeMar DeRozan is questionable, may not get to play tomorrow. So this game to me screams, if there's no DeRozan, just go ahead and fire up fucking Lowry. Just fire him up. Dude is a minutes whore. He's getting all the minutes he wants, especially not seeing DeMar DeRozan. Terrence Ross is probably the player that I like off of the bench, not Van Vliet, not Corey Joseph, who has probably played himself out of the rotation. the LA Clippers side, that shooting guard, point guard area is just too hard for me to figure out. I'll let you handle that. I'm not fucking with it. I don't like Blake Griffin tomorrow. I don't like the price is up on him. He's 8.8K. I don't like him tomorrow. I don't like DeAndre Jordan as well. I only like DeAndre Jordan when Chris Paul is on the court. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Miami Heat going to Minnesota to take on the Grizzlies. This is a 206.5 point total. The spread is deadlocked. It is even. The centers in this game are very intriguing. When you talk about Karl-Anthony Towns, we know the Miami Heat does give it up to the centers, and the same thing goes for the Minnesota side. So Whiteside is in play. He's priced up a little bit, right above 8K. I don't think I want any piece of that because we're going to need 48 points for him, 49 points for him to make value. I think there's other spots I can pay up at and get that similar production, so I won't be having too much of Whiteside. It could cost me tomorrow because he did go off for like 60 the other night, but I'm just not going to have too much of him. Next game I'm going to talk about, 8 o'clock start for the Phoenix Suns going to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. Another nice juicy point total, 221 points is the point total there. The New Orleans Pelicans are giving up 5 points. They are the home favorite. I love Eric Bledsoe tomorrow. Gonna be a nice play. I like him. I kind of like Drew Holiday, but the price is up on him. He's 7.9K. I think that's a little too much to pay for a guy that probably won't return value tomorrow. I just don't like him tomorrow. I'd much rather play Bledsoe for just a couple hundred more. I'd rather do that. Do I like Anthony Davis tomorrow? Yeah, I think Anthony Davis in play. He hasn't been hurt in the last 3 games, so we know injuries do. It's coming. And on a 11 game slate with so many other really good options, I'm not going to be rolling too much Anthony Davis there. PJ Tucker's not a player that I really like from the Phoenix side. Tyson Chandler, I can definitely get into some Tyson Chandler tomorrow. The price is down on him. He is a rebound monster. Not going to be matched up with Anthony Davis. More or less going to be playing with Omar Ashik or Alexis Ajinça. Maybe some Domantas Sabonis. I mean, not Sabonis, but Monte Eunice. So I definitely think we could look to him tomorrow. A lot of people are probably going to be on Devin Booker because he's been playing so well lately. He's due for regression. I think it starts tomorrow. Next game I'm going to talk about, Dallas Mavericks are going to Denver to take on the Nuggets. This is a modest point total, 213.5 points. But when it comes to the higher point totals and the closer spreads, this is probably right where you want to be in terms of, having a good idea on both sides of the ball where your points are going to come from. The Dallas Mavericks are the road dog. The Denver Nuggets are giving them 2.5 points. Jokic is a play that I kind of like tomorrow. I do. But the fact remains that, man, Dallas is restricting the center position, bro. They really are. Either they're doing it from going small after they take Mejri off of the court, or they just have really solid post defense play or block defense play. So I won't be fucking with Jokic tomorrow. I think if you do play him, that puts you in a really good position because if he plays well, you're gonna separate yourself from a lot of people. But I don't think I'm gonna have too much of him tomorrow. Gary Harris is a player I kind of like going against Seth Curry. Wilson Chandler is not in play for me tomorrow. I don't like him very much. On the Dallas side, the only way I like Yogi Ferrell is if we know for sure that we're going to see some minutes for Darren Williams. We're probably going to get that news way before lock. This is a 9 o'clock game, so do beware of that. Please beware of that. Harrison Barnes is in play for me. I kind of like him tomorrow. I think we can look to Salah Mejri for the cheap at 3.6K. A lot to like about this game. Next game I'm going to talk about, the San Antonio Spurs going to Memphis to the Grindhouse to take on the Grizzlies. It's a 202.5 point total, very low point total, but the spread is pretty close. It's minus 2.5, so that means the Memphis Grizzlies are a home dog. People are going to look at San Antonio and not want to roster guys. I like Mike Conley tomorrow. I think he can have a really nice game against Tony Parker if he does play, or Patty Mills, or DeJounte Murray. I like him tomorrow. I think you can fire him up. I like him more than I like Gasol, actually. He's probably my favorite, or the only player that I would roster on the Memphis side. Kawhi Leonard's not a player that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. This says, if this is true, it says he's going to get a full allotment of minutes, and that's cool. But I just see other guys contributing more and it being like a balanced team effort. I don't see Kawhi dropping 40, grabbing 15 boards, and getting 8 assists. I don't see that happening tomorrow. I think it's going to be more of a solid team effort because they play the kind of ball that matches their opponent, and Memphis does play that way as well. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Chicago Bulls going to Sacramento to take on Boogie and the Sacramento Kings. This is the last game on the slate. This is the late night hammer game. You've got to know what's up with Jimmy Butler way before lineups lock in order to roster this guy with confidence. We know he's been dealing with that bruised heel issue. If he doesn't get the start, a lot of times you're going to see a ton of Paul Zipser. If you find out earlier that he's not going to be playing, then I think you can fire up Zipser as well. I do like Dwayne Wade in this matchup, especially if we don't see Jimmy Butler tomorrow. I think you can take a look at one of the guys in the Chicago front court, be it Taj Gibson or Robin Lopez. I would be making a decision between those guys. On the Sacramento Kings side, Boogie is going to be a lot of people's late night hammer for good reason. I think he can have a solid game out. Do I want to pay that salary up for him? Nah. There's some other studs that I got my eye on the slate that I'm going to be taking advantage of. But I will have somebody in this game. I will have a late night hammer for this game. I will. I don't know if he's going to be a core 4 play, but I will have him in some of my roster builds, definitely. You can look to Holiday. Depending on who's starting at point guard, if it's Michael Carter Williams again or something like that, if we don't see Jimmy Butler, I think you can look to Collison as well, definitely. Matt Barnes is a player I kind of like in this game. He's 4.9K, priced up from 3.9K over the weekend. I think he can have a solid rebounding and defensive game against the Chicago Bulls. This, of course, has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on DFS you can follow me on Twitter. The website, www.dfssweatshop.com. Get in there. Get with us. Fastest growing family on YouTube. Fastest growing family in DFS. We are doing it, right? And a lot of times we go out and we expect amazing returns on our investment, man. But what I'm telling you, man, I cannot stress it to you enough. NBA is a slow grind. It's a slow grind, and I want you to invest in the single entry tournaments. Get in there. I'd love to see the logo all over those. Okay. If you want to support the show, of course, you know that you're already supporting the show by giving me a voice here on YouTube, liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. But if you wanted to make more contributions, you can look over there. There's going to be a box that says support the show. Click that box. Also, come on into the website, man. Come, be a part of the team. We love to have you. Now, this has been, of course, your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. The one thing that I want you all to do tomorrow, it's going to be a nice night. It's going to be a nice night. I really like this slate. I'm very pumped, and I'm very excited. I really think the sweatshop is going to ball out tomorrow. So the one thing I want you to do, man, is go out, have a profitable Monday, start your week off right, and keep it 300.